The heart of Pripyat. The heart of one of the most modern cities in the whole USSR of its time. Pripyat Central features several iconic structures so close to each other. Hotel Polisia, the energetic Palace of Culture, Lenin Square, and the amusement park with its iconic Ferris wheel. It integrated the Soviet ideals, of course, as you wouldn't encounter any luxurious houses, but rather typical apartment buildings made of prefabricated materials. The planning focused on both the housing needs as well as on infrastructure, leisure time, culture, and other social activities. Today, it is a part of a ghost town, lying in one of the most secluded places on the whole earth, with access restricted only to a few. Hello guys, it's time for a weekly episode today. It's Sunday after all, and for almost 2 years we have been covering the Chernobyl disaster subject from many angles. I hope you enjoy both these and other videos, like recent gameplays from our Chernobylite game. We will again focus on the real-life counterparts of the places and buildings you may encounter in Chernobylite during your exploration, either during regular gameplay and free-play mode, or in the tour around the zone mode, which is completely peaceful and filled with notes and NPCs that will assist you with many interesting facts about the Chernobyl disaster. If you enjoy these history videos about Chernobyl, you will definitely have a great time exploring tour around the zone mode. So, what have we prepared for today? I will cover the Pripyat Central, so the heart of the city where many important buildings or places are still popular amongst stalkers and guided tours. We will shortly explore each of the most iconic spots around Lenin Square, or Central Square if you prefer this name. So let's begin with this episode. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. The fusion of fact and fiction. Part 4. Pripyat Central Overview. The heart of Pripyat, one of the most modern cities in the whole USSR at its time, is often referred to as Pripyat Central. Mostly because it was indeed a center of the whole Atomgrad, but also because it features several iconic structures so close to each other. Hotel Polisia, the energetic Palace of Culture, Lenin Square, and the amusement park with its iconic Ferris wheel. In real life, these landmarks are some of the most photographed and well-known sites within the exclusion zone. Hotel Polisia, once a luxurious accommodation, now stands empty, its windows broken and interiors decayed. But it still serves as one of the best sightseeing points within Pripyat. Not longer than a few years ago you could relatively safely explore its insides, with some of the rooms fairly intact since the liquidators left. There's also the Palace of Culture Energetic, or simply Energetic. It was a true center for community activities and gatherings, arts and sports alike. Now it stands abandoned like any other building in the exclusion zone, with no purpose, no maintenance, and the time slowly decomposing it, it will soon succumb to natural elements. The Lenin Square, sometimes called exchangeably Central Square, with its overgrown pathways and abandoned monuments, is a stark reminder of the vibrant life that once thrived here. It was also a place for gatherings, but more formal ones, like the 1st of May parade or other important national holidays and events. We can't forget about the iconic Ferris wheel, a part of a never-opened amusement park, located just behind the famous Energetic. Its opening was scheduled for May 1st, 1986, but the tragic events of the fatal night of April 26th prevented this, and all the attractions never had a chance to be used by the Pripyat citizens. In Chernobylite, Pripyat Central's depiction is strikingly faithful to reality. Of course, as it had to happen due to game design requirements, we had to make some adjustments. But overall, it's still almost exactly the same as the real-life counterpart. You, the players, can explore the deserted halls of Hotel Polisia, uncovering clues and encountering supernatural phenomena. The energetic Palace of Culture serves as a backdrop for critical story events, hosting a paramilitary base of mysterious organization called NAR. The closed amusement park is also recreated exceptionally well, as we used a pioneering technology called photogrammetry, which has become more popular in recent years. Thanks to that, you can enjoy the view of a precisely 3D modeled Ferris wheel, which still looms ominously over the landscape, serving as a constant reminder of lost potential and a lost future. These locations are brought to life with stunning accuracy, which we were hoping to achieve. It serves an important purpose, as the story of Chernobylite involves a grim history of this place, the Exclusion Zone. It also explores the necessity of making hard choices, which make the ending unpredictable even if you spend hours playing. The immersion of the zone, achieved through the high level of detailed recreation of it, help us to create the deep, unforgiving, and often horror atmosphere. Lenin Square. In real life, Lenin Square was the central hub of Pripyat. It was a bustling focal point of the city that epitomized Soviet urban planning. Even to this day, the planning of Pripyat is positively judged by public opinion. It integrated the Soviet ideals, of course, as you wouldn't encounter any luxurious houses, but rather typical apartment buildings made of prefabricated materials. Nonetheless, the planning focused on both the housing needs as well as on infrastructure, medical care, shops, firefighter station, leisure activities, and even enough spacing between the buildings to create a sense of open space, where you could enjoy your afternoon. Lenin Square was a perfect example of Soviet thinking when it came down to city planning. It was designed to be a communal space for residents and a symbol of Soviet pride and ideology. As you could expect from a central point of the Atomgrad, the square was surrounded by key buildings, including energetic Palace of Culture, Hotel Policia, a supermarket, and other important civic structures. As you may have already guessed, Lenin Square was named after Vladimir Lenin, the founder of the Soviet Union, reflecting the city's deep-rooted communist ideology. It served as a gathering place for public events, parades, and community activities. The square was designed to be spacious and functional, with wide paths, greenery, and benches providing a place for residents to relax and socialize. After the disaster happened on April 26, 1986, with the subsequent evacuation of Pripyat, Lenin Square was abandoned along with the rest of the city. For some time, it was still an important place, but this time for liquidators. Over the years, the square has fallen into despair, with nature reclaiming the once meticulously maintained communal space. Lenin Square, like many parts of Pripyat, has become a symbol of the sudden disruption caused by the Chernobyl disaster. It stands as a haunting reminder of the vibrant community that once thrived there, being also a part of Pripyat's cultural and historical significance. The square's decaying structures and overgrown pathways reflect the passage of time and the profound impact of the disaster on the city's residents. Lenin Square has been featured in various documentaries, films, and video games that explore the Chernobyl disaster and its aftermath. Its iconic status and central location make it a good backdrop for stories about the tragedy and its enduring legacy. The square's haunting atmosphere and historical significance have made it a focal point for those documenting and studying the exclusion zone. In Chernobylite, we recreated Lenin Square with careful attention to detail, capturing both its historical importance and its current state of abandonment. You can explore the square, experiencing the eerie silence and decayed beauty of its surroundings. Chernobylite incorporates this place into its narrative, using it as a setting for key events and encounters that deepen your connection to the story and emotional weight of Pripyat. By navigating Lenin Square in Chernobylite, you gain insight into the daily life and communal spirit of Pripyat before the disaster, as well as the profound changes that followed. The depiction of Lenin Square adds a layer of authenticity and immersion, allowing you to engage with the history and legacy of the Chernobyl disaster in a meaningful way. Nonetheless, the gameplay will require you to travel there at least a few times as Igor, the main character of Chernobylite. You will discover the past events as well as the multi-dimensional effects of your decisions. Will it change much? Will you encounter hostile soldiers? Out of this world monsters? Or maybe simple stalkers? That's for you to discover. And remember, all your decisions count. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I often said before, I really like to compare the real-life Chernobyl Exclusion Zone with the one presented in our game. I feel like I'm touching the true atmosphere of the zone while still playing Chernobylite, despite knowing that there are many sci-fi nuances to it. Feel free to ask us anything about the game, the history of the place, or our travels and work in the zone. If you are interested, we covered the energetic palace of culture in one of the previous episodes here, on our channel. You can find the link in the description of this video. As always, I was happy for you to watch this episode. The next ones will have new gameplay from the tour around the zone mode, which will cover additional maps which we haven't shown here yet. Be sure to check for new videos on Wednesday and Friday, as well as on Sunday when the regular weekly episode is published. That's it for today, guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you next week.